I wanted to share a little bit about the process of channeling. When you are listening to the voice of somebody else, and this voice is in your head, an imagined space maybe, then you need to be a clean vessel. That means that you need to get out of the way. And when we first started writing, and although we'd had a year to practice, the pressure of writing the words that somebody was saying in my head out onto the computer became quite complex. And it was really, really slow. I mean, I would write 180 words and it would seem to take quite a long time. So we got better at it, I would say, and certainly by now we're quite efficient at it. But in the early days, that was quite challenging. What I discovered was something called voice typing. I use Google Docs, so that, sorry, advert for Google there. Use whatever you've got, whatever you like. But I use that and they call it voice recording. And I found that so much easier. But the gobbledygook that came out of my mouth is nothing like I actually was speaking. So I now have around 6,000 words that require complete editing. So after that second week, I decided never to do that again. Now, I'm sure there are apps that are much better at it, and maybe if I spoke more freely in a different accent or something, then the gobbledygook would be less than it is today. So channeling is about being in peace, about noticing your own voice. And certainly when I read some of the words back, I noticed my voice. And that was why I started to do the voice recording to get myself out of it. But on the third week, it really started to flow. Now, I was told that the first book often isn't the first book. And I was really hoping to use all of the work, all of the wisdom that Isis had given to me over the first year in 2021. But it was really clear right at the beginning that that was like the training ground. So I stood back and I said to Isis, okay, I'm a fairly structured person and I'd like to write it from beginning to end, which I can honestly tell you is not the way anybody writes books, I don't think, or many people for sure. And she found it really restrictive and said, no, please don't do that. So I said, well, at least give me something to organize myself with. So what she did was give me 6 chapter titles, but was quite bossy and said they're not chapters. I think they're steps, but we'll see. We'll see what the book looks like when it's finished. So now my process, apart from all of those sort of learning thousands of words, about 20,000 words of learning, they're all on the day, they're all scripted on one sheet, one document. And that gives me a word count. And I've set myself a word count of 7,000 words a week, which I think is probably fairly excessive. But I also wanted a schedule. So let's go back. So I'm writing it all down on one document. And I have 6 chapters. And she's given me the titles of those chapters. So I have a page for each chapter entitled. And what I do is I write on the long page, and then I cut and paste it, or no, I copy it onto the relevant chapter. So what I've got now, nearly 35,000 words in week 5, are 6 chapters with various amounts of words in them, but they're in total chaos. Now, there might be 1,000 words in each section, so it won't be massively difficult to put that in some order when I've got that in my schedule. So that's my first process, is now typing on several pieces of, if you like, documents, several Word documents. There's also an introduction, and I also have a document for, I haven't a clue what to do with it. And I also have 6,000 words I've not edited and moved at all. So I hope that that little bit of information about that process stuff is valuable in terms of how you go about writing. Now, there are lots of authors programs that you can get free trials on, and depending on what you're writing and depending on the way your brain works, you know, do research those. This is my simple format with a program I'm really familiar with, and there's enough learning without learning other things for me. But you might be a different personality style than I am. I mentioned the word schedule. So I have a schedule, so that's 7,000 words for 10 weeks, which actually finishes on Easter Sunday. Now, I find that I'm not interested so much in the numbers, but much more in the sections that ISIS gives to me. And if I am 300 words short or 300 words over that week, it's really sort of relatively irrelevant. So, you know, you choose what works for you and how quickly you want this information out there. It's my intention that this is published this year, and I can give my first book away as a Christmas present to all my friends. So that's the dream, that's my plan. And in order to do that, I have a schedule, and that is encased in my diary. So on Easter Sunday, my first 70,000 words, which are rough draft, remember that, rough draft, those words are scattered. So from April the 17th, I think it is, right through till the end of May, which is roughly 6-7 weeks, I will take each chapter and I will organize it as best I can. I'll cut and paste it and make it so that it reads easily and well. And then I'm going to get people to read a chapter. I'm not going to overwhelm anybody with a book. I want them to read a chapter, not necessarily to edit it, but I just want to see if the voice in it, the way that Isis speaks, reaches their heart. Because ultimately it's not, this book is about the message, not about the brilliance of it, the brilliance of the grammar or anything else. And of course it's coming through as clean a vessel as it can, which is me, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's very accessible to people. So I'll be doing that. And once all of that is in, I will then do the edits based upon people's thoughts. So that will be July and August. And then in September, my plan is to look at how I'm going to publish this. I'm unsure at this point in time how best to do it. And as I say, you will learn with me. So I hope this video too, very much about my process, will be of value to you in some way. Any questions, please ask them. Please like and subscribe. I'm recording all 3 of these videos together, so hopefully the next one, I might have learned how to put a banner at the bottom. If anybody knows how, please let me know. Thank you. Have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for joining me. I find this really, really useful because it helps me sort my process out as well. So thank you for being here. Bye.